right, we're here at my VermiHut indoor worm bin, and let's just look at what has happened over the last 11 days. So let's jump in and see what it looks like on day 13. Oh my gosh, like everything is gone except for this one little banana peel and the tangerine peels right here. So let's go ahead and dig in and see if there's anything left of this pineapple. Yep, there is. Yeah, look at that. The bottom part right there. And they have just been laying castings all over this thing. Lots of worms right on top, still eating it. And let's come over here to what was the watermelon, and I'm not feeling anything at all. So this is way fun. They absolutely love that watermelon. And I put it with the meat side up, the red side up, so that we could see it. Normally I would have put something like that face down. And let's come over here to the potato skins, because they actually went for those first, but now it looks like some's left over. And you know what? They ate all the flesh out, and this is just the peels. So what I'm gonna do right now is let's go back and I'm gonna quickly replay a couple of those time lapses and talk about some of the stuff I saw and kind of direct your eyes to the different areas. So it looks like by day 3, the mold had taken over the watermelon, the pineapple, the apple, and even the flowers. And then somewhere on day 4 to 5, kind of some scout worms figured out that there was a top to the watermelon. And by day 7, there was an absolute feeding frenzy. So like I said, they attacked the potato peels at first, but it looks like once they discovered that there was watermelon and pineapple, they went over there and focused their attention. But I think they were also eating the flesh out of the potato peels, and then once they were done, they kind of ignored them. And those 3 pieces of celery that we had, one in between the pineapple and the watermelon and some on the edges, they had absolutely no chance because of the close proximity to the watermelon and the pineapple. And then if you look at the upper right, the apple was basically ignored, and then it got quickly consumed. And the mites absolutely love the apple. Look at them on day 7. And then those banana peels, if you look where those were, they were the last to go, along with those tangerine peels. And maybe that's because the microbes and the other bin critters kind of had to get to them first before the worms could attack them. So let's jump back in. I kind of want to look underneath this banana peel, and sure enough, flesh absolutely gone. And it's just, this is just the lightest piece of banana peel right here. I mean, I can just pull it apart in nothing. And then over here, really the only sign of that apple is just kind of the top to it. And maybe the bottom, that's just a peel. But other than that, nothing there. And then let's look at the tangerine peels. These are very delicate right now, and they just kind of pull apart. So they got some work. I don't know if that was by the microbes or the worms or the other bin critters like mites, but it is just mushy. That was firm when I put it in there, and now it's just kind of mushy. And same thing over here with this other tangerine peel. And if you like all that time lapse, what I'm going to do at the end of this, I'm going to run a bunch of the time lapses back to back at the end of this video so you can sit there and watch them and play with them. It's really fun to look at, focus on one section of the bin and watch the time lapse go. Over here was some strawberries, and I think there may have been a little piece of celery or something. As I dig underneath, I'm finding some of the stuff from previous feedings. This is an avocado peel. Under here was grapes and celery, and that's all gone. So another thing this is showing us is just how fast they make food into worm castings. This is a banana stalk, and I bet if we rip inside here, we will find worms, and sure enough, right away. I'm not going to disturb them, but you can see that right there. That right there is a worm, and there's one underneath it too, right there, or it's the same worm. Dig right under here, and we're getting down to mango seeds and a lot of other stuff from previous feedings. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of aerate this out, and then we are going to set up for another trench feeding down the middle. Oh, right here was all the carrot tops that I put on here. They were previously frozen, and you can see the worms are kind of taking the last bit of food and really trying to work it down and digest it. Pretty cool. There are thousands of worms up here. Oh my gosh. Every handful just has hundreds in them. So a couple of observations as we are making this trench here. is that one, there are just a ton of worms in here. We estimate there's somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 worms. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting some of the old food back in here that we're going to put everything else on top of. The other thing is this bin, I think this top tray has only been up here for about 45 days or so. And there are just a ton of castings. Usually I do my rotations every 60 days. So really impressed with how quickly they have gotten through it. And the moisture level is absolutely perfect. This VermiHut does a great job of moderating the moisture level so that the worms are like at their peak performance when they're eating. So first things first, I like to add a little bit of bedding on top. Just a little bit more. This is just going in dry because I'm going to put a lot of wet food in here. So here's some of the selection that I have, and I'm going to pull food from here. And then we've got kind of the usual stuff that my mom gives me from her house, all of her food scraps. So we'll go in with some celery stalks. They seem to have eaten that really quick. And then we'll lay down some of their favorite, like watermelon, and we've got some banana peels right here. We got some tomatoes and strawberry tops. These are some pears, I believe. We do some dehydrating, and I like to slice up pears and apples for our dehydrator. And some more tomatoes and watermelon. Over here, I've got a whole pear right here that I'm going to try. I got a huge bruise on it, so we'll put that kind of flesh side down. Some more odds and ends, some apple slices, and some more strawberries. And then we'll go in with some Brussels sprout leaves. We've been using these as tortillas when we make tacos and stuff. They are huge leaves. I don't know if you grow any Brussels sprouts, but they do a really good job of substituting for carbs. And here's just a little section of watermelon we'll put right there on top and another piece right there. So this is a pretty good feeding form, kind of dense with this pear and this watermelon, but a lot of fast food and some slow food for them. So next we're just going to jump in here with some of my homemade worm chow, just out of some of the grains and stuff that have expired in my pantry. Just gives me another opportunity to get rid of some of the food that we have that's wasted and prevent it from going to the landfill. Next, we'll jump in with some coffee grounds, and I just like to sprinkle a little on top, another food source for them, and I let it get a little moldy as it's sitting out. That's more microbes to help break down the food for them. And then finally, I add a little bit of our pulverized eggshells just as grit for them. They've got a gizzard to help break up their food, and as you can see, this is a lot of food. Now remember, I've got 5,000 to 6,000 worms, so if you have fewer than that, if you have like 2,000 or 500 worms, you need to give an appropriate amount of food. Please don't look at this feeding and think, oh, I just got some worms, let's pile it on. Look at some of my other videos that kind of show you how to start from the beginning and work your way up to something like this. So we're going to bury this up, and don't forget, we've got those time lapses that are going to come at the end so you can kind of pick an area and watch it. And if you see any of the stuff that I use, like I've got a VermiHut, you look at some of my other videos, I've got different kinds of bins, and I've got that magic bullet blender, that kind of thing. Any of my worm equipment that you see that you like, I've got Amazon affiliate links both in the first pinned comment and in the description. You can check out prices and see that kind of thing. But you can do lots of DIY worm bins. You don't have to spend a lot of money on expensive stuff to get started. So let's go ahead and look at some of those time lapses. I'm going to put several back to back for you. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed what you saw. I hope you were able to pick out some fun stuff to watch and kind of look at how the worms attack the different things. And I hope your worm bins are doing really well. So I hope you're having a great day. Happy vermicomposting, everybody. Take care now.